Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another episode of Macro Mondays. Let's get straight into the crypto market. We're going to go over Bitcoin, a little bit of macro analysis, then we're going to go into top 5 altcoin picks. These are definitely ones to watch out for. So let's get straight into the analysis. Bitcoin ultimately still in this sideways choppy range that we spoke about. We spoke about this being the range. Basically, if you're looking to scalp, you can be shorting the top of this box and longing the bottom of the box and just range trading in here. Of course, we are not doing that. We are swing traders. So we are, just in a long here on Bitcoin. And basically, we are looking to take profits at this 140K region over here. And because we're swing trading, we are just following the trend. So what we have here is a big move up and we're forming a range. And if you get rid of this range, it looks like a bit of a bull flag. You can see big move up, bull flag like that. And if we do break out of this bull flag to the upside, break the range to the upside, our target would be towards the top of this box over here, coming at about 140K. It'll match up quite nicely with this ascending resistance over here. So that kind of all makes sense if we do break to the upside. If we do break this range to the downside, I'm looking at this zone over here, 113.75 K over there, or even 110K. So this whole box over here, 113.75K comes from the 382, guys. The 382 Fibonacci, obviously big move up over there. 50% level is that 110 region, and 113.7 region is the 0.382 Fibonacci. So if Bitcoin is extremely strong, you should get a strong bounce off here and continuation to the upside. However, Bitcoin above 110K is extremely bullish and very strong, and we are expecting continuation to the upside. So that's that for Bitcoin. I'm still in my long from 102K. I haven't taken any chips off the table. The plan was to take the chips off the table at 135K. So we'll see how price reacts when we do come into that region over here. But Bitcoin, obviously, the risk to reward at the moment isn't the most amazing thing ever. So I wouldn't be looking for longs now. If we do start to, if we come down to this 110, 112, 113K region, we can definitely look for some more exposure in Bitcoin and adding to our Bitcoin longs. Let's go into Solana. Solana had quite a steep sell-off after tagging our resistance zone at that 207K area over there. Personally, just missed my take profits. I was looking to take profit at about 210. Yeah, we came into like 206, not even 207. So, and we sold off quite fast. So we didn't get much time to take profits, chips off the table here. I think this happened late at night as well for my time here in South Africa. But this is a great zone. If you did take profits in the zone, great zone to take profits. Very obvious zone as well. You can see resistance. We broke through support. Ultimately chopped around there, and it was a seesaw point, 205, 210K over there. This would be TP1 of the long over here, TP2 over there. Very easy long that we did take. We now have the bull cross, but what I would like to see for Solana would be multiple closes above this 195K zone. Something like this, some consolidation over there for at least more than one day. So we didn't get the confirmation because we literally closed one day, then we came straight back down, closed below, sold off a bit, came down to this obvious support zone over here at about $180. And we basically want to see Solana close above that $200 zone for a weekly candle close or 3-4 days in a row. And that will give us a lot of confidence that that move to $260 is most likely going to happen. So bullish, of course, guys, bullish market structure. You can see we had a lower low, and then we had a higher high relative to all of this price action. We made a higher low and another higher high. So the trend is confirmed to the upside. This was a very obvious support zone. Could we come lower? Of course we can, guys. We can come all the way to this $160 zone, but let's see how let's see how it all plays out. I would like to see some more daily closes at the $200 region, which we have spoken about. Ethereum making moves, Ethereum doing the most over here. We can actually move this over here. Ethereum coming very close to TP2. Of course, we are targeting the cycle high at about $4,100 for TP2. If you know, you're not going to get too much more if you do take profits over here from our long over there, maybe a few $100 more, but that, it is obviously risky because we have to wait for that exact number. And this is a very obvious zone over here. You can see the previous cycle high connected to this high over here takes us all the way to the zone over here, which we did get rejected off now. That zone just below $4,000. So this is obviously a resistance point for Ethereum over here. Very obvious resistance. We did come into that now. But what I'm seeing, guys, what I'm seeing on the weekly time frame for Ethereum is that, yes, we have had quite an extended move at the moment. But if we do break out of this huge triangle that we are forming over here, there is a massive measured move to the upside. Let's make this a little bit more obvious for you guys. I'm going to make this over there, make this size 2 over here on TradingView. And of course, we are coming into a multiple resistance over here. We have the horizontal resistance and the descending resistance over there. But if we do break out of this triangle, often the measured move would be something like that, guys. Just for a price target, it is obviously a rough estimation, but this would be something that we would be targeting. So we can copy and paste that over there. If we do break out of this, then we do have a upward price target of that zone between $8,000 and $7,500. So something like this, guys. This would be our target if we do start to push up here and then close some more weekly candles over here, then some consolidation. Then we are looking for a big move up to that $7,500, $8,000 move for Ethereum. So guys, we are at a massive point. It is very obvious resistance. We could easily reject off here and come down even all the way down to this 50% level. Very unlikely that we do come under there. I do see at least a push up to this $4,300 move over there. That's of course if you take this key level over here and you do some reverse engineering. What you often find is that the key level is the 50% level. So we spoke about this key level over here at that $2,750. So if we put the halfway point on 2,750 right over there, you see that we could come easily into this $4,100 region right over here. Very, very, very big resistance, of course. But we could go there. That is the measured move. That is where we're going to be taking some chips off the table on our Ethereum long, guys. And if you did get into this Ethereum long, congratulations. We've made mega bucks here. We're up about 10x at the moment. And yeah, about 1,000%. Of course, stop is at break even. But if Ethereum does get a pullback, to this 3,300 zone over here, we will most definitely be adding to our Ethereum longs. And of course, targeting that $3,300 region, targeting the trade all the way up here. But we'll take it as it comes. It's obviously one step at a time. ETH BTC also looking really good. ETH BTC reclaiming this key zone over here, 0.03%, reclaimed and retested. So what you can see is we had a push up here. This was an obvious resistance zone for me. We sliced straight through. We retested that as support, and it looks like we have broken that high today. Of course, it could be a bit of a liquidity grab, but let's see how the day closes. But what we want to see now is for at least a range to form into the zone. This would be your support zone. And what you can see, guys, over here is that we are about to get the golden cross. We're about to get the bull cross, of course, the 50-day EMA crossing above the 200-day EMA. This is bullish, guys. This is most likely going to confirm the trend to the upside. And yes, we can get a pullback to the zone over here, or we can even get a deeper pullback into the golden cross. But guys, the trend is confirmed, and the trend is your friend until the end of the trend. So what we can see here is we can see a push up into that 0.04. It might happen quite fast. And then, honestly speaking, ETH BTC has a lot of work to do, guys. I do see that, this is a very obvious zone over here. That would be, let me just make this a little bit more accurate for you guys. If this is the low, then there is a very obvious move up into this 50% level at 0.053. Very obvious move over here. So this is the trade that we are looking for. You know, will ETH break through this and then go all the way up to the 0.08? Unlikely. Unlikely. It's a major move. It can happen though, of course, though, but the 50% does act as a magnet in the market, and 0.053 is a very obvious target, guys. So this would be where, you know, if you've swapped all your ETH into Bitcoin, putting it back into Bitcoin over here, this could also mark the end of the cycle. Who knows? Who knows? But definitely mark 0.05 off. I think we will test that this cycle. Maybe we go higher, but this is, for me, the absolute bare minimum. I think 0.053 for ETH BTC, guys. So definitely watch out for that. Let's have a chat about XRP quickly, because this did come nicely into our zone. Let's go back on the daily time frame. What you can see here is we had that big move up. You know, we broke through this descending resistance over here, and we came up into the all-time highs. We took this trade, guys. We did actually cash out half our position at all-time highs. So again, congratulations if you did take that trade. It was a huge trade as well, with leverage, of course. But what you can see here is that push up from 1.91 all the way to 3.65. The 0.382, we spoke about this for Bitcoin, lines up perfectly at that $3 region. So what you can see is that we did get support at that $3 zone over there. Perfect retest over there. We could come back and retest the zone, of course. A lot of 50% wicks over there. So watch out. If you do come into that $3 zone, it's going to be a big buying opportunity for XRP. If we lose that, we're going to come down to that $2.80 zone for XRP. Watch out, guys. It is exciting. You know, if we do come down to that $2.8 region, I will be adding to my long. Of course, we're in this long already. We've only taken half the chips off the table. Good thing we did take some chips off the table, because this did start to look a little bit distributive over here. Took some chips off the table. But let's see, guys. Bitcoin dominance, of course, we spoke about this breakdown. We said, you know, we have broken this ascending support over there. We got below the 50-day EMA, then we dropped very quickly. I said this would be your target 1, and this macro 50% level would be the target 2, which we almost hit to perfection here, guys. There was a word of warning over here. You know, at the start of last week, I did warn you guys to say, listen, we could be getting the reversal of altcoins going into Bitcoin, or a little bit of a pullback, which we did see. We saw the pullback. We came perfectly into this 200-day EMA over here, rejected off there. Very obvious zone, big resistance over there, resistance over there. That was at 62%. And what you can see is we are starting to sell off. So what I am picturing is a potential range in this area over here for a bit, range around. And then once we lose that 60.34%, then it is most likely going to tumble all the way down to that 52%. This is our TP1 from a macro point of view. So of course, Bitcoin dominance, we do have 2 targets. Target 1 for this drop is going to be 52%. Target 2 is going to be 43%. This is going to be the bearish case for altcoins, and this is going to be the bullish case for altcoins, guys. Definitely watch out for this. I think these levels will most likely get tagged. USDT dominance also playing ball. We said that we're probably going to have a, let's just go back to the daily time frame, guys. You know, we did lose this key level over here. We've come up, we've tested as resistance. So I personally think the next target for USDT dominance is at 3.8% level over here, between 4% and 3.75%. This is a range low, and I do see a move into the zone over here. You know, this is where we could be taking some chips off the table, of course. So watch out for this. Very obvious resistance over here. We lost it, resistance, and then push to the downside. USDT dominance as well. From a macro point of view, I am looking at this 1.1% USDC dominance for a potential market top. It marked the top in March. It marked the top in December. So this is most likely going to mark the top in Q3 or Q4 of 2025. Let's see. Total crypto bullish, guys, so bullish. We broke out of all-time highs over here. We tested that as support. We said that there's 2 possibilities. We're either going to get a move down to these tops over here and get a strong bounce, which is exactly what we saw, or if we lose this level, we're going to come to this $3.5 trillion mark before getting a bounce off there. Obviously, guys, we're bullish on this. Our minimum target is that 4.5 trillion, but our realistic target is $5 trillion. We are targeting $5 trillion for the total crypto market, guys. And of course, with the total crypto market being $5 trillion, I am seeing total 3 being $2 trillion. Okay, something like this. Cup and handle over here for total 3. You can see here we got the parallel channel. We broke out of the parallel channel. So all we need to do now is break above this all-time high, consolidate here, then we are most likely moving up to $2 trillion, guys. So definitely watch out. It's not confirmed yet. Once we get above this $1.2 trillion, $2 trillion is the next target, of course. Others also showing some strength. I do want to see others get above that $3.12 billion over there. That is, of course, the macro 50% level. If I just get rid of that, you see this 3.12 billion, sorry, 312 billion. If we get above here, then this 450 billion is the next target. And this will also look like a cup and handle breakout, of course, guys. Big pumps, big dumps for this. But that macro 50% level at 312 billion is what needs to get reclaimed. We've had the golden cross. So all we need now is a push through, consolidation above here, and then obviously targeting the cycle high. What I'd like to see now is just market continuation over here. You can see we had a low, we had a higher high relative to all of this price action, came down, made a higher low. Then, of course, after this high low, we got a higher high relative to this high. So bulls are in control in terms of market structure. This is, of course, a massive resistance zone. So once we do get through this, it will be bullish for others, guys. Others is, of course, the total crypto market, excluding the top 10. Okay, so let's get into the top 5 cryptos, guys. These are my top 5 cryptos that I think are going to most likely outperform the rest of the other cryptos. Number 1 is SUI, guys. Really bullish on this. Yeah, I'm very much long in SUI. I accumulated a lot of SUI at 80 cents, and I do see at least $7 as a target, even $11. And of course, that will be happening when we do get that big crypto breakout. $7, $11, that is what I am looking for SUI. Really bullish on this. You can see we have broken that May high, which, this was a bit of a cause for concern that we hadn't broken it, last week. But we did break through now. If we can consolidate here, retest that, $4.20 as support, I am seeing all-time highs, and I am seeing $7.60. This is probably the project that I am most bullish on. We did take this long over here. This is an obvious long, got above there. It was a retest of the 50% level and descending support, as well as the 50-day EMA, guys. This all made sense. If you are in this trade, you can move your stop to basically break even or just below these wicks, or if you are conservative, below the EMAs. But nice, guys, great. TP1 is going to be all-time highs. TP2 is $7.50. TP3 is $11.20. That's number 1, guys. SUI, extremely bullish on SUI. I think SUI is going to do really well. Another one that I am recently bullish on is ENA. We did take this long as well. I built a decent spot position in this accumulation region for ENA. We hit TP1 extremely fast. I have taken chips off the table for the leverage trade, but not my spot trade. There's a lot of bullish news about this, and I do see this fair value gap being filled. We spoke about this fair value gap all the way back in Jan. I am targeting that to get filled, and it looks like we do get that big sell-off, accumulation zone, breakout, massive move to the upside. So I am bullish on this, guys. Would I be buying now? No, I wouldn't. I think we could, come back, retest these zones over here. We haven't even got the golden cross yet, guys. And remember, we always wait for the golden cross because the golden cross confirms the move. So ENA, there's still time in this. I do think, we can even get a nasty pullback all the way down to 45 cents. But I am bullish on this project, guys. This is a key zone over here. You can see resistance, broke through, support, lost the level, massive accumulation over here. Now all we need is the golden cross, breakout over there, very obvious zone. 45 cents is a great zone for ENA. And of course, if we come into that 78 cent zone, this will be your resistance over there. Okay, so we spoke about SUI, we spoke about ENA. Now we can speak about Ondo, guys. Really, really bullish on Ondo. This is probably my biggest altcoin holding at the moment. Yeah, guys, real world assets. It is a real world project, and I think that this is going to be one that really does well. Looks like we are about to get that golden cross here. We have broken this high as well, which is a great sign. And Ondo is cheap, guys. You can basically swap $1 for one Ondo at about $1.03. And I think this is going to at least $3. So this is going to 3x, triple your bucks, make a move up to 200% move up to $3. And I have entered this with leverage on a leverage trade, and I do have a lot of spots on there, guys. So bullish on this. I do see this outperforming the majority of the market. Okay, so that is, we spoke about SUI, we spoke about ENA, and we spoke about Ondo. Another one that I'm bullish on is actually Chainlink, guys. I'm bullish on Chainlink. I have a huge spot position on this. I think Chainlink is going to do really well towards the end of this year, and I do see a target of about $40. Of course, that isn't as much of a gain as Ondo. Ondo had that 200% move. This is a 100% move, but this is also linked to our real world assets and oracles and whatnot. And I do see that this accumulation period is a huge accumulation. This was an accumulation of 536 days, and we did break out, we retested that. And what you can see for Chainlink, guys, is that this is just, we broke out. This is when the altcoin bull market basically started. We broke out, we made a higher high, higher low. What's very important is that this December high over here took out this March high, which is really bullish, guys. If your altcoin doesn't have this, it might not make it, okay? It is a little bit more questionable. It broke out of this, then came down and made another higher high relative to this. It doesn't seem like much, but it is, guys. Higher high. So what we expect next is another higher high to $40, guys. $40. And once we hit $40, we're probably going to go up into all-time highs. Who knows how high this is going to be? I think this is a bullish project. I really like the look of this accumulation zone, the Wyckoff accumulation over there. And I think Chainlink is going to do well. This is also one of my biggest holdings at the moment, of course, is Chainlink. Now, I've got big positions on Ethereum and Solana, of course, guys, but this isn't a top pick for now because this is basically run its move. If you're buying Ethereum at $4,000, you have lost the plot. So personally, guys, this is not a pick at the moment. Ethereum, I think Ethereum is bullish. Ondo is on Ethereum. Chainlink is on Ethereum. So I want to stick to the Ethereum network for now and speak about Lido, guys. So I think Lido has a really good opportunity to make a move. Of course, this has got to do with the Ethereum staking. And if the Ethereum narrative picks off, this is going to rip. We saw a big move there for Lido. And from a macro point of view, what you can see is this very key level over here at that 90-cent zone. And we have seen a double bottom below there. This is, of course, the move below it. You come over there, you make a double bottom. And what you see here is we have broken out of this May high over here. We've now reclaimed these important EMAs over there. And if Lido does test this macro 50% level over here, so what you can see, of course, that high in Jan 24, all the way to this low June 25. This is going to be a $2.32 Lido. It's also basically $1, so you can swap $1 for one Lido, basically. And I'm bullish on this, guys. Of course, this thing got smashed and hasn't been performing well, obviously because Ethereum hasn't been performing well. But let me tell you, if Ethereum breaks out of $4,000, this thing is going to rip. Definitely going to rip. So I would be, putting this on your watch list. I think Lido is a really good chance. So those are my top 5. I think I named 5 there. It was SUI. We spoke about Ondo. We spoke about ENA. We spoke about Chainlink. And now we spoke about Lido, guys. Those are 5 projects that I'm really bullish on. And of course, these still have a long way to go, in my opinion, especially Ondo, Chainlink. And 4 of those 5 are on the Ethereum blockchain. And if Ethereum does get that move to the upside, breaks through that $4,000, these projects are going to rip, guys. So those are my top 5 altcoins. We're not going to speak about meme coins today. We'll speak about that later on the week. But guys, thanks so much for joining the stream, and we will see you later this week. Cheers for now.